You probably thought there was a AK-47, a stash of illegal weapons, but no. It's literally just my grill. Ever wondered what it's like living with a 90s shitbox wagon? Here is my 1997 Toyota Caldina GT-T. I've owned it for about a year now. It's my first car. And yeah, I'm gonna review it for you guys. So you may be wondering, what is a Toyota Caldina? Well, Toyota Caldina is a station wagon produced from 92 to 2007. This is the high performance variant of the normal Caldina. This is the GT-T, which means it comes with the famous 3S GTE turbo from cars like the MR2 and the Celica GT4. This also has all-wheel drive, which is basically the same as the Celica GT4. The 3S GTE, found in this, is a Generation 4, which makes around 260 horsepower. This one is a bit similar to the ones found in the MR2 Turbo, Celica GT4. Basically the same engine, but a bit newer. Now, the Caldina GT-T was Toyota's answer to the fast performance wagons of the 90s made in Japan. You got cars like the Nissan Stagea, Mitsubishi Legnum, Nissan Avenir, or the Honda Orthia. This was Toyota's answer to all of them. This has all-wheel drive and a 4-speed automatic with manual mode that you can control via steering wheel buttons. Now, the exterior of the Caldina. This is the touring version, which means you get some extra bits compared to the normal one, such as these side skirts. You've got a front bash bar, and you have a rear wing, a double wing in fact. You can maybe put your, I don't know, your Zinger box meal up on here and eat it with your best friend. But yeah, the touring, there is other versions, like the Active Sports, which has a body kit, different stuff. And then you have an Aerial, which has a massive panoramic sunroof. Mine is just the normal touring version, which does include some stuff that make it a little better than the normal Caldina. You're probably wondering, what the hell is this pole doing on the front of my car? Well, this is actually a parking pole. This is not made for this car. I did make a custom bracket at school for it. This is actually made for a GX70 series, Toyota Cressida, Chaser, whatever you want to call that car. And this should light up, but I haven't got to wiring it yet because I'm a bum. But anyways, the grille, this is from a base model Caldina. The normal GT-T grille should have a GT symbol instead of the normal Caldina badge. And part of the touring kit, you do get this bash bar, as I said earlier. And you get a hood scoop for your air-to-air intercooler. Now we move on to the interior of the Caldina. This is probably one of the worst parts about the Caldina. You got very basic things. You've got your amenities. You've got air conditioning. You've got a double din radio, and you got a little screen up top. You've got 3 gauges here. You've got your speed. You've got a middle gauge which shows what gears you're in, your fuel and your coolant, and then you've got a tachometer. On the right, you have one air conditioning vent and your power mirrors. And on the left, you've got an airbag and your air conditioning vent. But overall, this interior is not bad, I'd say. It's what you'd expect from a 90s Econo box. I mean, you've got these very cool 90s patterned seats. They look like bus seats. And then the steering wheel. This is where the magic happens. If you put the car into manual mode, you can change gears via the button operated gear shifters. And yeah, that's about it on the front. Now we move on to the passenger footwell. And this is, you may be wondering, what the hell is this again? This is an original option for this car and many other Toyota cars. And this is called a clean box. This was a factory dealer installed item that you could buy, and it's essentially a rubbish bin which you can remove, and it bolts onto the passenger footwell via 2 bolts, and that's about it. It's a glorified rubbish bin for your car. And now we're in the back. It's very spacious, what you'd expect in a wagon, but there are some very nice things in the back. So firstly, you can see the 90s pattern seats carry on from the front to the back, and then you do have 2 map pockets to store all your things in. Here is my magazines, but here, this is what really sets apart the Caldina from a normal 90s wagon, right? In the back here, you have an accessory socket. If you pull that down, I mean, you have access to a 100-volt household style socket, but for the Japanese. So the A and B socket. You might need an adapter depending on where you live, so you can plug stuff in there. And then you have 1 ashtray, and then in the middle, you have an armrest and flip out cup holders. Yeah, that's about it in the back. Nothing much going on. So, when you went, the first thing you saw in this interior, these white things. These are called lace seat covers, and these are optional for this car. This is not made for this car again. This is from a Toyota Rectus, which is like a Toyota Echo, but a bit bigger. But these essentially are a sign of luxury back in 90s Japan. These were a popular option you see amongst Crowns, any big executive cars, and somehow it's found its way onto a not so luxurious 90s station wagon. Now we're in the cargo bay of the Caldina. And I do have to say, it's massive, especially when the seats are down. I reckon you can fit maybe a queen or a double mattress in here. But the cargo area is very basic. You have a 12-volt area for power. You have 2 hooks on the sides and more on the bottom. But yeah, that's about it. You have a tonneau cover to cover all your illegal stuff in there. But yeah, that's about it. There is some storage underneath, like here. Put all your stuff in there. I am very sorry for the mess. I have not cleaned this thing yet. But yes, you do have storage in there. And you do have this little convenient hook to hook it up there, so the thing doesn't end up falling on your head. But underneath that, that's where you will find your spare tire, which is a space saver. Kind of disappointed. But anyways, the cargo area, it's pretty big. Nothing too special. That's what you'd expect again. So, when you first saw the Caldina, the roof box is probably what caught your eye first. Now, the roof box. There's nothing special inside it. You probably thought there was a AK-47, a stash of illegal weapons, but no. It's literally just my grill, an extra headrest, a jack, and a spare set of floor mats. But the roof box, nothing too special about it. But let's move on to the rims now. The rims. You can see they're not factory Toyota rims. These are actually aftermarket OZ Racing 17-inch wheels, and I do say they do suit the car pretty well. There's nothing much going on about it apart from a silver center cap and some OZ graphics on it, but there's nothing much going to the rims. I do have the stock brakes on here, which I will upgrade to some better ones in the future, but other than that, oh, and one thing. It is sitting on some BC coilovers on all 4 corners. It's a bit lower than the normal one. And I did get those for a steal. Thank you, James Crisp, for providing those for me. So now, we're going to move on to probably my most favorite thing I've done to the exterior of this car. And that's the Caldina board sticker that runs on the bottom half of the car. So this is my attempt of making a Caldina board sticker that looked optional from factory. But I couldn't get the original design right because there's hardly any of those left with those stickers. They've either been rubbed off or badly destroyed by the heat. But these are some decals that I made on my own, and I do think they look good on this car. You may not like it, but who cares? That's your opinion, and this is my car, and you're entitled to have your own opinion, but it's probably wrong. But now we're going to move on to the driving of this car, and Just a disclaimer, I'm a bit biased, but you guys can roast me all you want. What are my thoughts on the Caldina GT-T's driving characteristics? Well, it's pretty good. I mean, it's on coilovers, which means that it does handle pretty nicely. Some of the bumps are a bit rough if you do take them at speed and if they're a bit harsh, but most of the time you're fine. I mean, you can go through roundabouts, you know, some twisties. It'll feel like a go-kart even though this is a 1500 kilo station wagon with all-wheel drive. And the 3S GTE, it does its job well. I mean, it's got turbo, you've got all the nice sounds, all of the BOV sounds, you even get some flutters, the spool up. I mean, it's just a nice car all around. The transmission is left to be desired. I mean, sometimes it shifts slowly, other times it'll just shift randomly, even though you don't want it to shift. But the manual mode does eliminate a lot of those issues. But overall, I'd say it's a pretty good car to drive. It's not like a Lotus Exige down the twisting roads, but I mean, it's enjoyable. You can fit all your friends, all the stuff, and you've also got a roof box which you can put more stuff in. But yeah, the only downside of driving this car is the fuel. Yeah, it's a little bit thirsty, but other than that, it's an amazing car to drive. If there was one thing I'd change to the driving, is probably an exhaust. Just needs to be a bit louder, not too loud, but as is, it's pretty good. Well, now what are my final thoughts of the Caldina GT-T? It's my car, so I am gonna be a bit biased. I'm gonna be honest, and I do think it's great. There are some flaws, like paint, you know, maybe some things that could be changed, but I haven't been bothered. But overall, as this is my car, I'd say it's a really good, solid car. Maybe not the cup of tea for you, but for me, it's definitely. I mean, it was my dream car ever since primary school. Ever since I saw a third generation GT4 in black, I've always wanted a Caldina. Never even knew this existed up until last 2023 of like August. Did not know that this thing existed, but now I own one at 16, 17 years old, and uh I'm at a loss of words. I mean, getting your dream car this young and actually doing stuff to it, like modifying, it's been a great ride. And I did make a lot of friends with this car, and now I'm getting my license, hope to make more friends, hope to drive this thing more, and yeah, do my own thing with it. But that's about it. It's a wrap for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you in the next video. Make sure to subscribe and like if you did enjoy this video. If not, that's fine. But yeah, have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching.